Welcome everybody to Google Cloud Innovators Live. I'm Brian Krasik and I have with me here today Zeotap and Virgin Media. Florian, could you introduce yourself, please?
Thank you for having us. I'm Florian, I'm the Chief Business Officer at Zeotap. I run our global partnerships and actually work very closely with the Virgin Media and the Google Cloud team.
Andy, what about yourself?
Hi, so I am our Head of Paid Traffic Acquisition at Virgin Media O2, so focused mainly on our marketing acquisition and acquisition of customers.
Fabulous. So we're talking a lot about customer data platforms and transformation. Could you tell me a little bit about the business problems you're solving for there?
Yeah, of course. Florian, do you want to start off with,
Sure.
with why Zeotap, I suppose?
I mean, looking at the market, right, what we see around customer data platforms is that often this is this very big transformation project which stands in the room, but you don't know where to start. It is really new territory for the companies. So there's a lot of vendors out there, there's a lot of complexity connecting systems. And that often leads to the point that actually companies don't even start at the beginning. So they postpone decisions. There's a lot of legacy involved, right? You need to connect to all your existing systems. And ultimately, this is something where companies they don't really make the progress you need, right? Because the time to value appears very long. And companies don't want to run to the next IT project for another 2 or 3 years. And that's actually where Zeotap might have a solution, and we'll talk a bit more about this.
Yeah. So then, as Florian said, right? So CDPs were always in our we're in our mind, right? Everyone hears the buzzword and all of that kind of thing. We've all done DMPs in the past, and we was like, okay, we want to do a CDP. So we started down the journey of an RFP for this, and we started looking at our platforms. And when we was initially doing the write up of our requirements, we had hundreds of requirements, right?
Yes.
So we needed real-time data. We needed that data enhanced, so we knew everything about every one of our customers. We wanted data science modules and clean rooms, and we really, really overcomplicated what we actually needed. So what we did is we almost started again, right? Which was just like, let's just keep it simple. Let's look at use case driven need, really. So we broke our business down into 3 really simple use cases, right? Which was around customer suppression, using customer match data and using customer data. We lookalikes, so finding new customers, so for how we grow our customer base. And then the third one was all around cross-sell, upsell, and actually how we talk to our customers and make sure that we're giving them a relevant offer at that time.
So Andy, when you look at that on the backside, you probably have so many different datas, and it's typically in silos.
Yeah.
So I really love the approach around use cases and looking at that. What were you doing to break down those data silos, and kind of what was some of the time frames so you could get to a quality time to value?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So in terms of silos, right, you're right. There was hundreds of data points and lots of different areas, right? So there was on-prem data, and that was spread all over the place in legacy systems, right? We had cloud platforms already, and used in different ways and for different use cases, and some of them were much more mature than others. So what we really needed to do was we needed to try and unify that, okay? So working with the Google Cloud teams and then also Zeotap, we really brought all of that information into one source to start off with, right? But what we really needed to do was not bring everything in. Okay, so ignore what the data science teams were telling us around actually it needs to be real time, it needs to be 100 platforms, it needs to be all of our points of data. Yeah.
It's a crawl before you run kind of scenario,
right?
So you have to start it. So Florian, when you came in and looked at the situation, what were your thoughts and what was the kind of the process to make this happen, and what kind of time frame did you guys start to achieve? And we achieve together.
We see this often in the industry, right? That companies are actually stuck in different places. Some have already done like huge work, right? Putting data into data lakes on Google Cloud and other cloud solutions. Others are still kind of like very much stuck in their silos. And where Zeotap comes in is actually that we create easy connectivity. And we're natively kind of like built on Google Cloud, so we easily integrate with the Google Cloud stack, which made it really simple in this case. And ultimately, we were able to pull in data right from Google Cloud systems as well as other legacy systems and bring them together in a very quick approach. And when we say use case centricity, it doesn't mean that you connect all sources. You actually focus on this one use case, and you need to understand what is the priority source I bring in. So you end up maybe connecting 3 or 5 sources, not 100. Right? And this is key, right, to time to value.
Exactly right. And for us, getting that first use case done, so customer suppression, which was our whale, right, our white whale. Customer suppression for us was done within a 4-month window.
That's
right?
fabulous, though.
Exactly.
So, and was that your number one from the business?
That was our number
the key
one.
pain point?
Yeah,
So started with the key pain point, 4 months to value.
4 months to value, yeah, so 4 months to value. So we, from signing the contract with Zeotap to actually seeing a decrease in our wasted spend 4 months.
That's fabulous. That was the first use case.
Yeah.
How did you step through the next use case and the next one? And are you still going to grow this?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So we've got massive plans, right? So because we started so simply, right, with one use case, we had loads left to do. So what we did is we had suppression, and we used that Google connector, and we focused on the easy bits, right? So we're working within Google Ads and that kind of area. And then so our next step was, okay, let's get more platforms connected. So let's do the same use case within Meta, within Facebook, within Instagram, all of those areas. And then for that one, we added on additional partners, okay? And then we started on our second use case, which was lookalikes and around actually finding those new customers. We just saved almost, £1 million annually, right? So we saved £1 million annually just from our first use case. And what that meant is we didn't want to give that back. Actually, what we wanted to do was find more customers with that £1 million.
So you generated cost savings,
Yep.
and now you're going after acquisition and
Yes,
additional
reinvest.
revenue.
Yeah, with that, yeah. So
It's a pretty powerful message.
exactly, right? So don't focus on the cost saving. Don't give that straight back, right? Find new ways of targeting and find new acquisition. So we get the cost saving, we get a CPA decrease, and also we get new customers.
And you're doing it with a velocity for the business.
Yeah.
Because typically, it's the business that is putting the pressure on the IT side of the house.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And it just snowballs. So here you were able to break it down and really make progress. So that's
If you don't
quite
mind, I
fabulous.
would just like to unpack the suppression case a bit more, because I think it sounds very easy, and actually for the telecom industry, that's really kind of like, it's a huge potential almost any telecom still has. Because as said, right, they have centralized data, they work on cloud infrastructure, but when it comes to connectivity to the marketing stack, there's a huge gap, right? And that gap means even your existing client IDs, your existing users are not being kind of like suppressed in new acquisition campaigns. So when you do advertising, right, to new customers, you also advertise to existing customers.
Yeah.
That's a huge waste, right? And that problem is actually very easy to address with a few sources connected into a CDP, easy to manage for the marketing team with an integrated UI. And that's where we actually kind of like really create value quickly.
Yeah, and I think the important bit from this as well is we was not starting from zero. We was already using everything that the market has to offer to already suppress our customers.
Yeah.
So the benefit that we drove was on top of what everyone else in the market's already doing, right? And I think that's the important thing. We can't focus and say, well, I'm already doing suppression. I'm already doing suppression this way and this way and this way, because so was we, right? The important thing is that this is a better version of suppression, right? This is better matching, this is better customer identification, and overall, it's additional people that you didn't think even existed.
That's pretty powerful when you're looking at the marketing side. I think IT becomes a huge asset to your business and your marketing department when you make that happen.
Yeah.
And it just continues to snowball.
Yes.
So it makes me want more. It makes me proud because I've been in the industry a long time, and seeing that kind of progress over time is just fabulous. So with that, I want to thank you, Andy, Florian. Appreciate you coming by.
Yeah, thank you.
And that's it for us at Google Cloud Innovators Live.